The countdown has begun, and everything we've been waiting for is about to explode. Episode 10 of Season 3 is not just another summer night, it's the breaking point. Friendships will be tested, love will be questioned, and the choices made now will echo far beyond the beach house. This is the moment when the season decides who truly belongs in Belly's heart, and who might walk away forever. As we move into Episode 10, let's take a moment to remember where Episode 9 left us, because the weight of those moments will shape everything that comes next. The last episode wasn't just about fun at the beach or casual summer love. It was about emotions reaching their peak. Belly found herself once again pulled in two directions, between Jeremiah and Conrad, each representing something completely different in her life. Jeremiah, the boy who has always been there, steady and hopeful, offering her comfort and the promise of something simple and safe. Conrad, on the other hand, is her first love, the one who knows her soul deeply but also carries the weight of his own struggles, making everything complicated and unpredictable. Episode 9 ended on a cliffhanger that left fans restless. It wasn't just about which brother she might choose, but about the shifting balance in their relationships as a family. For years, the bond between the Fisher brothers has been central to the story, and now we're watching it strain under the pressure of love and jealousy. There's a sadness underneath their rivalry, a reminder that the summer is not just about romance, but about the cracks forming in connections that once seemed unbreakable. And it wasn't only the love triangle at play. The adults in the story carried their own conflicts, decisions that could shake the stability of the families and the beach house itself. Each subplot seemed to point toward a conclusion where nothing will remain the same. That's why Episode 10 isn't just another chapter. It feels like the storm that's been building all season long. The emotional stakes are higher than ever, because this isn't just about who ends up with who. It's about growth, heartbreak, and the realization that summers do end, no matter how beautiful they once felt. Episode 9 made it clear. Belly can't avoid making a choice forever. The brothers can't keep pretending everything is fine. And the house that once held nothing but happy memories now carries the weight of decisions that could change their lives. As we head into Episode 10, fans can feel that sense of finality building. Every glance, every conversation, every unresolved tension is leading to a moment where truths will finally come out. The season has been carefully setting us up for this breaking point, and the preview hints that Episode 10 will deliver the answers and the heartbreak we've been waiting for. In Episode 10, the storylines we've been following so closely all season finally collide, and the tension that has been building is impossible to ignore. At the heart of it all is Belly's inner conflict, torn between Jeremiah and Conrad. But this time, the stakes feel higher than ever, because it's no longer just about a summer crush or innocent feelings. Her choice now could shape not only her future, but also the fragile bond between two brothers who have already been drifting apart. The preview suggests that the triangle will reach its most emotional peak, and the quiet moments we've seen, the glances, the hesitation, the stolen words, will finally transform into real confrontation. For Jeremiah, Episode 10 might be the moment where he finally demands clarity. All season he has stood by Belly's side, trying to prove that his love is dependable and genuine. But being the steady choice comes with its own risks. Viewers can sense that Jeremiah's patience is wearing thin. Episode 10 could show him stepping out of that calm, reliable shadow to claim what he wants without holding back. If that happens, Belly will have to face the reality that Jeremiah isn't just a safe option. He's someone with his own dreams, fears, and boundaries. Conrad's story is even more complicated. He has been struggling with his emotions, his responsibilities, and his inability to express love in a simple, straightforward way. But the preview hints that Conrad won't remain silent this time. His feelings, long buried beneath sarcasm and distance, may finally come to the surface. For Belly, this means being pulled into the whirlwind of a first love that has always been powerful, but also dangerous. Conrad represents passion, intensity, and the kind of love that can break your heart just as easily as it can make it whole. Episode 10 could be the moment where he lays everything on the line, no matter what it costs him. But the story isn't just about romance. The Fisher brothers' relationship is quietly unraveling, and that thread is just as important. Episode 10 has the potential to be a breaking point for them too. As years of hidden resentment and unspoken jealousy surface, their connection has always been a foundation of the story. But with Belly caught in the middle, the cracks are becoming impossible to ignore. We may see the brothers forced to face the truth, that their love for Belly is pulling them apart in ways that might never fully heal. And beyond the love triangle, the wider arcs of family and change will also play a role. The beach house, a symbol of childhood memories and safety, feels less like a sanctuary and more like a battlefield. Parents are carrying their own burdens, quietly shaping the choices of the younger characters. Episode 10 may show how these family dynamics feed into the bigger picture, reminding us that the story has never been just about teenage romance. It's also about growing up, saying goodbye to the innocence of summer, and realizing that even the strongest bonds can be tested. By the time episode 10 unfolds, every character will be standing at a crossroads. Belly, Jeremiah, Conrad, and the families around them all face choices that could redefine what summer means forever. And for fans, that makes this episode not just the end of a season, but the beginning of something new, something raw, and something unforgettable. The deeper we step into episode 10, the clearer it becomes that this finale is not only about who ends up with whom, it's about the themes that quietly shape every look, every silence, and every difficult choice. One of the strongest themes we can expect to see is the battle between love and loyalty. Belly stands as the center of this conflict, caught between her heart's desire and the loyalty she feels toward the Fisher brothers as a family. Every decision she makes threatens to fracture the fragile balance that has held them together for years. The episode is likely to remind us that love is rarely simple, and that sometimes choosing happiness means hurting someone else in the process. Another theme that will dominate episode 10 is the heavy weight of growing up. The carefree innocence of summer's past is fading, replaced by the reality of adulthood and all the responsibilities that come with it. Belly, Jeremiah, and Conrad are no longer just kids on the beach. They're young adults facing choices that will define their futures. The story has always been about transitions, but this episode feels like the moment when summer stops being endless and starts becoming a memory. There's a bittersweet edge to this theme, a recognition that time changes everything, no matter how much we want to hold on. We can also expect episode 10 to explore the theme of truth versus silence. For too long, the characters have lived behind unspoken words and hidden feelings. Conrad has masked his emotions with distance. Jeremiah has buried his fears under smiles. Belly has tried to avoid making choices by keeping her heart split in two directions. But this episode feels like the breaking point where silence is no longer an option. Secrets will spill out, confessions will be made, and the truth, however painful, will finally come to light. And in stories like this, the truth often carries both freedom and heartbreak in equal measure. Change itself is another powerful theme we'll likely see in this finale. The beach house has always symbolized stability, a place untouched by the passage of time. But episode 10 might remind us that even the most sacred spaces can shift. Families evolve, relationships break and mend, and traditions can't always last forever. The looming sense of change hangs over every storyline, and for the characters it means letting go of what was in order to step into what's next. This change might feel frightening, but it's also the very thing that makes their story relatable. We've all faced those moments when the safe, familiar world we love suddenly feels like it's slipping away. Finally, episode 10 seems set to explore the theme of choices and consequences. Every decision Belly makes will ripple outward, affecting not just her own life, but the lives of Jeremiah, Conrad, and their families. It's a reminder that choices are never made in isolation. They carry weight and they shape destinies. Fans know that whatever happens in this episode will not just tie up season 3, but will leave echoes for any season that comes after. Through these themes, love versus loyalty, growing up, truth against silence, the inevitability of change, and the weight of choices. Episode 10 promises to deliver a finale that is both heartbreaking and unforgettable. It's not just about closing a chapter, but about holding a mirror to the characters and the audience alike, asking the question we all fear: what happens when summer ends and nothing will ever be the same again? Episode 10 has fans buzzing with theories, and part of the magic of this story is that nothing feels certain until the moment it happens. One of the biggest questions everyone is asking is, will Belly finally make her choice between Conrad and Jeremiah? Some believe this finale is the moment she steps into her own power and chooses love with clarity, no longer hiding from the consequences. Others argue that episode 10 might end with ambiguity, leaving the audience hanging once again, because this series thrives on the tension of what's left unsaid. Either way, fans know that Belly's decision, or lack of one, will send shockwaves through the Fisher family and reshape the heart of the story moving forward. A popular theory is that Jeremiah will finally get his moment in the spotlight. Many fans feel he has been overshadowed by Conrad's brooding presence, and episode 10 could give him the chance to step forward, not as the second choice, but as the one who demands to be seen. If this happens, it could be a dramatic turning point, not only for Belly's love life, but also for the brothers' relationship. A bold, vulnerable confession from Jeremiah could spark one of the most emotional confrontations of the season. On the other hand, some fans believe episode 10 will cement Conrad as Belly's ultimate choice. His quiet suffering and layered emotions have been building toward a confession that feels inevitable. The theory here is that Conrad has held back for too long, and the finale will give him no choice but to reveal the depth of his feelings. If true, it could lead to a heartbreaking split between the brothers, where love and rivalry intertwine in a way that changes them forever. But not every theory revolves around romance. Many fans speculate that episode 10 might contain an unexpected twist outside of the love triangle. Could there be news about the beach house itself, something that threatens its future and forces the characters to rethink their connection to it? Or perhaps a shocking revelation within the family, a secret that shifts the foundation of their world? These possibilities linger in the background, reminding us that The Summer I Turned Pretty has always been about more than just love. It's about families, memories, and the fragile ties that hold people together. Another theory gaining attention is that episode 10 will end with a bittersweet goodbye, setting the stage for a new chapter in a potential season 4. Instead of tying everything neatly, the finale may leave us with an open wound. Belly choosing herself instead of either brother, or walking away to rediscover who she truly is outside of the triangle. This theory resonates with fans who see Belly's journey as more than just about romance, but about her growth into adulthood. The beauty of these fan theories is that they show just how deeply people connect with this story. Everyone sees a piece of themselves in Belly, Jeremiah, or Conrad, and so each theory reflects a different hope, a different fear, a different longing. Episode 10, with its air of finality, could confirm some of these dreams or shatter them completely. That's why the anticipation feels so intense. It's not just about what happens on screen, but about how each of us has written the ending in our hearts. Everything in Season 3 has been leading to this point. Episode 10 is not just another finale. It's the moment where choices become permanent, where emotions can no longer be contained, and where the summer that once felt endless finally shows its cracks. The air around this episode is thick with tension, because we know the decisions made here will not be easy, and they will not be without pain. Belly is standing on the edge of a decision that could change the course of her life forever, and with her choice comes consequences that will ripple through every bond, every friendship, and every memory tied to this summer. The preview has given us only fragments, stolen looks, heavy silences, glimpses of tears, but those fragments are enough to spark a storm of emotions. What makes episode 10 so powerful is not just the question of who Belly might choose, but what that choice will cost. Will the Fisher brothers ever recover from the fracture that love has created? Will their bond survive the weight of rivalry? These are questions that go beyond romance. They cut into the very core of family, loyalty, and the painful process of growing up. But perhaps the most haunting part of this finale is the knowledge that nothing will ever be the same after it. Whether Belly chooses Jeremiah, Conrad, or no one at all, the innocence of summer is slipping away. The beach house that once held laughter and safety now feels like a place of decisions, confessions, and heartbreak. Fans can sense that episode 10 will not only close the door on this season, but also open another, one where the characters must face the world outside of their summer bubble, carrying scars and memories that will shape their future. And yet, within all this heartbreak there is beauty. There is the beauty of first love, of mistakes made under the sun, of promises whispered in the dark. Episode 10 is more than a finale. It is a reminder of why this story resonates so deeply. Because at its core, it's not just about choosing between two brothers. It's about the choices we all face when life forces us to grow up, to let go, and to move forward, even when we're not ready. So as we wait for the final episode to arrive, the question lingers like the final rays of a summer sunset. Who will Belly choose? And what will it mean for everyone she loves? The answers are close, but the uncertainty is what makes this finale so unforgettable. And when the screen finally fades to black, one thing is certain. This summer will be remembered, not for how it began, but for how it ended. What lingers? After episode 10 is not just the story itself, but the silence that follows. The echo of decisions made, the weight of words spoken, and the haunting absence of things left unsaid. Every finale leaves behind a trace, but this one feels different. It is not just about tying loose ends. It is about unraveling the truth of who these characters have become. Belly's journey has never been a straight line, and the choices she makes here may finally define her. But even more than that, episode 10 will remind us of the simple truth. Growing up means accepting that every choice carries both gain and loss. Fans are left not only to wonder what comes next, but also to reflect on their own stories. Haven't we all stood where Belly stands now, caught between comfort and passion, between what feels safe and what feels impossible to resist? That's why this story feels so alive. It mirrors the struggles of anyone who has ever loved too deeply, hesitated too long, or realized that time doesn't wait for us to figure things out. Episode 10 isn't just a conclusion to a season. It's a mirror held up to the audience, asking us to think about our own summers, our own loves, and the choices we never forget. And yet, within the heartbreak, there's hope. Because endings, as painful as they are, always carry the seed of new beginnings. Whether Belly walks away with Conrad, Jeremiah, or neither of them, this finale plants the idea that her story, and all of their stories, are far from over. New chapter waits beyond the horizon, one that may hold reconciliation, healing, or even more heartbreak. The uncertainty is what makes it beautiful, because life itself is uncertain, and love is never guaranteed to be simple. The power of episode 10 will not come from shocking twists alone, but from the emotions it leaves behind. The trembling of a voice, the breaking of a bond, the fragile hope of tomorrow. These are the moments that fans will carry long after the credits roll. It's the kind of storytelling that refuses to give easy answers, because easy answers rarely exist in life. Instead, it offers something deeper, a reminder that love, in all its messy, complicated, breathtaking forms, is worth every risk. So when the screen finally fades to black, don't expect closure. Expect questions. Expect emotions. Expect that quiet ache that comes with saying goodbye to a story that has lived inside you all summer. And that is the genius of this finale. It doesn't just end the season, it keeps it alive in your heart long after the last line has been spoken. And so, we arrive at the edge of it all. Season 3, Episode 10 is not just another chapter in the summer I turned pretty. It is the heartbeat that carries everything forward. The sun is setting on this summer, and with it comes the realization that nothing will ever go back to the way it was. Friendships have been tested, love has been challenged, and choices have carved their mark on every heart. But endings are never truly endings. They are beginnings in disguise. This finale may close the door on a season filled with laughter, tears, and unforgettable moments, but it opens another door, one that leads into an uncertain, thrilling future. What lies ahead for Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah is unclear, but that's exactly what makes it beautiful. The story is alive because it refuses to give us everything at once. It leaves us hungry, waiting, imagining, and hoping. As the credits roll, we're left with one haunting question. When the summer sun finally sets, who will still be standing by Belly's side and who will be just a memory? The answer lies in episode 10, the finale that promises to change everything. So hold on to the silence, hold on to the heartbreak, and hold on to the magic of a summer that can never be forgotten. Because this isn't just the end of a season. It's the beginning of a story that will echo far beyond the shore.